please, everyone in the hall, please remember to switch off your phones, please. And if you are not required in the hall, please, can you just excuse us, please? Thank you very much. We're going to start now.
Media photographers, Mr. Man from Channels, now you move back. Thank you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your attention as we go through a few health and safety guidelines. For your well-being and comfort, please note there is no smoking in this hall. For your convenience, the restrooms are located by the security post at the entrance to the floor. This hall is equipped with 9 emergency exits. The muster point is located by the jetty under the bridge. In the unlikely event of a fire, please do not panic. Call the attention of any of our officials and sound the fire alarm to notify others. Evacuate the hall using the nearest exit. Do not use the lift. Get to the muster point and wait for further instructions. Do not take risks or return to the hall for any reason until authorized to do so. Emergency medical support is in place and our hosts are on hand to assist as needed. Watch out for trip hazards and please be safety conscious while you move around. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask one of our hosts and report any incident to the MTN control room at 0803-200-1630. Thank you for your time and attention and do have a lovely day.
Please rise for the national anthem.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigeria's old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland.
I'll be okay. Don't worry, I'll soon be fine. Actually, yes, I'm good. Very good.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I welcome you to the annual general meeting of our company, MTN Nigeria Communications PLC. Section 240, subsection 2 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, CAMA 2020, as amended, allows companies to hold their general meetings virtually. Clause 19 of the Articles of Association of the company also provides for a virtual meeting of shareholders. We have provided virtual access and streaming services to ensure that shareholders and directors can participate in this meeting. The registrar has circulated the link to shareholders who have provided email addresses. The link can also be found on our website. I request that all participants remain muted for the duration of the meeting except when called upon to speak. The quorum required by Article 16 of the company's articles is shareholders holding 75% of the shareholding in the company, present in person or by proxy, or if a shareholder is a company duly represented, I hereby request that Registrar present the proxy report. Mrs. Mary Adeleye, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, directors, regulatory officers present, and esteemed shareholders. My name is Mary Adeleye, and I represent Coronation Registrars Limited, the registrars to MTN Nigeria Communications PLC. We confirm that at the start of this meeting, we have 217 shareholders joining us virtually and 21 shareholders represented by proxy, and this represents 84.37% of the capital of the company's issued share capital. With this information, we hereby confirm that a quorum has been formed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mrs. Adeleye. The meeting is therefore duly convened and properly constituted. Accordingly, I hereby declare the meeting open. Distinguished shareholders, Dr. Pascal Dozier, our founding chairman, passed on April 8, 2025. I would like us all to rise and observe a moment's silence in honor of Dr. Dozier. May his noble soul rest in peace. As we proceed to the formal aspect of this meeting, I wish to inform our esteemed shareholders that the notice was published in the Business Day and the Nation newspapers on the 9th of April 2025. The electronic version of the annual report was also circulated via email to shareholders who provided their email addresses to the company's registrar. In addition, SMS notifications were sent to shareholders whose phone numbers are in the records. It is also available online for viewing and can be downloaded from our website at mtnonline.com and on the registrar's self-service platform, the Shareholder Live by Coronation. We urge shareholders to ensure that their current contact details are provided to Coronation Registrars Limited. Esteemed shareholders, I wish to introduce members of the Board of Directors of MTN Communications Nigeria PLC. The biographical details of all directors can be found on pages 90 to 98 of the annual report. Some are seated here, while others are joining us online. First, I introduce our Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Carl Olutokun Toriola. Next, our CFO, Mr. Modupe Kadiri, Mr. Muhammad K. Ahmad, Independent Non-Executive Director, Mr. Michael Ajuku, Independent Non-Executive Director who joins online, Mrs. Eitope Kola Oyeneyin, Independent Non-Executive Director, Mr. Udemezwe Muneli, Independent Non-Executive Director, Mr. Andrew Ali, Non-Executive Director, Dr. Omobola Johnson, Non-Executive Director, Dr. Abubakar Mahmood, Non-Executive Director, Ms. Solo Lefe, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Maze Moro, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Raf Mupita, Non-Executive Director, Mrs. Fueko Omogui Okaro, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Tim Pennington, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Jens Scholz-Bockham, Non-Executive Director. Mr. Fedi Mulman, Non-Executive Director. I am Ernest Sindukwe, the Chairman of your company. To my left is Mrs. Uto Ukpana, our company secretary. We have also representatives on the Statutory Audit Committee who are also present at this meeting. We have Mr. Nona Awo, Mrs. Josephine Ewitat, and Colonel Peters, who is still to become. He's joining virtually. The firm of Ernst & Young, our external auditor, is represented by Mrs. Fumi Ogunlowo. Mr. Ogunlowo. Is he here? It's online? Okay. And Mr. Surakat Alani, also online. Our registrar, Coronation Registrars Limited, is represented by Mrs. Mary Adeleye, who had been introduced earlier. The firm of Messrs. PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, independent consultant on board evaluation, is represented by Ms. Udochi Moagilim and Ms. Temilola Abdul. We also have representatives of the Nigeria Communications Commission, Securities and Exchange Commission, Corporate Affairs Commission, and the Nigeria Exchange Regulation Limited in attendance. Here with us is Mrs. Chizwa White of the Nigerian Communications Commission. Mr. Graham Omenka, it's online. Ms. Brenda Duke of the Nigerian Exchange Limited online, and Mr. Abdul Razak Shehu of the Corporate Affairs Commission, also online. Please be informed that the information on directors' shareholding is available on page 131 of the annual report. The record of directors' attendance at meetings can be found on pages 109 to 112 of the annual report. I now call on the company secretary to read the notice of the meeting. Mrs. Sofana, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The notice of annual general meeting. Notice is hereby given that the annual general meeting of MTN Nigeria Communications PLC, the company, will hold virtually via the link provided on Wednesday, 30th April 2025 at 11 a.m. to transact the following business. 1. Lay before the members of the company the audited financial statements of the company for the financial year ended 31st December 2024 and the reports of the directors, auditors, board evaluation consultant, and the audit committee thereon. 2. To elect the following directors who were appointed by the board of directors since the last annual general meeting of the company. Mrs. Eyitope Kola Oyeneyin, Independent Non-Executive Director. Mr. Udumezuo Nguneli, Independent Non-Executive Director. Mr. Timothy Pennington, Non-Executive Director. 3. To re-elect the following directors retiring by rotation. Mr. Andrew Ali, Mr. Michael Ajuku, Dr. Mobola Johnson, Mr. Bubakar B. Mahmoud SAN ON, Mr. Ferdinand Moolman. 4. To authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors of the company. 5. To disclose the remuneration of managers of the company. 6. To elect members of the statutory audit committee. B. Special business. To consider and if thought fit, to pass the following as an ordinary resolution of the company. 7. That a general mandate be given, that a general mandate be given to the company to enter into recurrent transactions with related parties for the company's day-to-day operations, including without limitation, the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial terms, and the indemnification of directors, whether directly by the company or by obtaining appropriate insurance in accordance with the company's articles, in compliance with the Nigerian Exchange Limited, NJX, rules governing transactions with related parties or interested persons, and other applicable Nigerian statutory and/or regulatory requirements. The directors be and are hereby authorized to take all steps and do all acts necessary to give effect to this resolution. I crave your indulgence to take the notes as read. This notice is dated the 7th day of April, 2025, by order of the board, signed by me, Uto Pana, Company Secretary. My FRC number is reflected. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mrs. Ukpana. Voting on items on the agenda at this meeting will be by poll, except for item 6. Distinguished shareholders, I request your consent that agenda item 6, which deals with the election of members to the Statutory Audit Committee, be taken after agenda item 7. There be no objection. We'll take item 6 after agenda item number 7. Esteemed shareholders, please indicate your intention to speak by showing your virtual hands. If called upon to speak, turn on your camera or mute yourself and speak clearly, stating your name. We now proceed with item 1 on the agenda, which is to present the audited financial statement for the year ended December 31, 2024, and the reports of the directors, auditors, the board evaluation consultants, and the audit committee thereon. I now call on Mr. Fumi Ogunlowo of Ernst & Young to present the auditor's report on the financial statements of the company.
MTN Nigeria Communication PLC. My name is Fumi Ogunlowo, and I have with me virtually Mr. Surakat Alani, who is the second partner on the engagement. The auditor's report is on page 140 of the financial report. Mr. Chairman, I will crave your indulgence to allow me to read the summarized version of the opinion in order to save the time of the AGM.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So I read. To the members of MTN Nigeria Communication PLC, report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. We have audited the consolidated and separate financial statement of MTN Nigeria Communication PLC, the company, and its subsidiaries, together the group, which comprise the consolidated and separate statement of financial position as at 31st December 2024, and the consolidated and separate statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the consolidated and separate statement of changes in equity, and the consolidated and separate statement of cash flows for the year that ended, and notes to the consolidated and separate financial statements, including material accounting policy information. In our opinion, the accompanying consolidated and separate financial statements give a true and fair view of the consolidated and separate financial position of the group and the company as at 31st December 2024, and its consolidated and separate financial performance and consolidated and separate cash flows for the year that ended in accordance with IFRS accounting standards as issued by the International Accounting Standards Board, the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, and in compliance with the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Amendment Act of 2023. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standard on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the group and the company in accordance with the International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independent Standards, ISBA Code, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements in Nigeria. And we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the ISBA Code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. I will now proceed to the conclusive part of the report. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the requirement of the 5th schedule of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we confirm that 1, we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2, in our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the group and company insofar as it appears from our examination of those books. 3, the consolidated and separate statement of financial position, the consolidated and separate statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts. And 4, in our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements have been prepared in accordance with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 so as to give a true and fair view of the state of affairs and financial performance of the company and its subsidiaries. In accordance with the requirement of the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria, FRC guidance on assurance engagement report on internal control over financial reporting, we performed a limited assurance engagement and reported on management assessment of the company's internal control over financial reporting as of 31st of December 2024. The work performed was done in accordance with the international standard for assurance engagements, other than audit or reviews of historical financial information. ISA 3000 revised and FRC guidance on assurance engagement report on internal control over financial reporting. And we have issued an unmodified conclusion in our report dated 27th of February 2025. That report is included on page 138 to 139 of this report. This opinion is signed by my good self, Funmi Ogunlowo, FCA, on behalf of Ernst & Young, Lagos, Nigeria, and is dated 27th of February 2025. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ogunlowo. I will now invite Mr. Nona Awo, the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee, to read the Audit Committee's report, which can be found on page 136 of the annual report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the board, very distinguished fellow shareholders, like the chairman has indicated, the account is on page 136, and I hereby read. To the members of MTN Nigeria Communication PLC, in accordance with the provisions of Section 404, subsection 7 of Companies and Allied Matters Act, 2020, the members of the committee, which is the Statutory Audit Committee of MTN Nigeria PLC, hereby reports as follows. We have exercised our statutory functions under the Section 404, subsection 7 of CAMA, that is the Act 2020, and acknowledge the cooperation and of management and staff in the conduct of these responsibilities. We are also of the opinion that the accounting and reporting policies of the group are in accordance with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices. The scope and planning of both the external and internal audits of the year ended 31st December 2024 were satisfactory and reinforced the group's internal control systems. We are also considered the external auditor's management letter for the year also ended 2024 and are satisfied with management responses to the external auditor's recommendations, and that management has taken appropriate steps to address the issues raised by the auditor. The external auditors confirm that they received the necessary cooperation from management in the course of their statutory audit, and that the scope of their work was not restricted in any way. Members of the committee for the year 2024 are as follows. With the permission of the chair, I will also request that members take a stand once they are mentioned for recognition. I'll start with board representative. We have Madam Ifeko Okaro representing the board. We also have Mr. Muhammad Ahmed also representing the board. You may be seated, madam. Because of the change on the side of the board, we had also had a member representing the board who left in the course of the year. That's a real one. But on the side of the shareholders, we have Colonel Peters, who is unobservably absent, and we also have Josephine Ewicha. And my humble self, Nona Awo, as chairman, and also duly signed the report on behalf of the committee, dated 27th of February, 2025. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Nona Awo. Esteemed shareholders, with your permission, the director's report, which can be found on pages 130 to 133 of the annual report, will be taken as read. Thank you very much. At this point, we will be pleased to take questions if there are any from shareholders. Mrs. Adetutu Shiambola has indicated she would like to ask questions online. Is she connected?
Hello, Mr. Chairman. Are you hearing me?
Yes,
I'm
very
connected.
well. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, other board members, the regulatory authorities, my fellow distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Barrister Adetutu Shiambola. I am the president of Highly Favored Shareholders Association. Mr. Chairman, I have some observations, comments, questions, and suggestions on MTN Nigeria Communications PLC 2024 annual report. With your kind permission, I will quickly run through them. On page 20 and 21, recent awards and recognition, I observe that we have several prestigious awards or credits in the year under review. This is highly commendable. Please keep it up. On page 88 and 89, the group photograph of the board of directors. I observe that we have only 4 ladies in the board of 17 directors, which amounts to 23.5%. This is unacceptable on gender balancing. We have to improve on it going forward. From page 101 to 114, attendance at board meetings and board committee meetings is good, but can be excellent. We have to improve on our attendance going forward. On page 120 and 121, the beautiful faces of the executive management. I observe that we have 7 ladies in the management team of 17 members, which amount to 41%. This is commendable. Please keep it up. On page 130, operating results. I observe that our revenue grew from 2.47 trillion to 3.36 trillion in the year under review. Our loss before taxation grew from 177.9 billion naira to 550.3 billion naira in the year under review. Our loss for the year grew from 137.02 billion naira to 400.44 billion naira in the year under review. Going through the indices above, observe a growth in our turnover and our losses in the year under review. I want to seize this opportunity to encourage the board and the management team for their efforts and implore them to do more to return our company back to profitability. On page 131, directors and their interests. I observe that only 5 directors out of 17 listed have our shares attached to their names directly in the year under review. I want to know why. I also observed that there is no disclosure of indirect holdings in the year under review. I want to know why as well. On page 132, the board and the key management changes. I observed that Mr. Ridwan Gazani retired from her board on the 31st of May, 2024, and Adia Sowu resigned as Chief Marketing Officer on the 27th of May, 2024. I want to seize this opportunity to thank them both for their meritorious service to our company and wish them the very best in their present and future endeavors. To fill the vacuum created by their exit, 3 new members of the management team were appointed late last year, and 3 new board members were also appointed on the 2nd of January 2025. I want to seize this opportunity to congratulate all of them on their appointments and wish them a fruitful tenure in office. On the same page 132, substantial interest in shares. Observe that we have 2 major shareholders with the minority shareholders in our company in the year under review. I would like to seize this opportunity to request a seat for the minority shareholders on our board. On page 145, consolidated and separate statements of financial position. Permit me to limit myself to group position. Trade and other receivables under current assets went up from 215.4 billion naira to 367.7 billion naira in the year under review. What are the modalities in place to collect this debt from our customers to the barest minimum so that it will not end up as bad debt that will be written off? Trade and other payable under current liabilities also went up from 699.5 billion naira to 1.2 trillion naira in the year under review. How do we intend to pay this debt to our creditors? Thanks and God bless you richly for this opportunity, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well done. We'll take others, and subsequently the CEO will respond to all the questions. I now like to call Boniface Okezie, if he's connected. Boniface. While we are waiting for him, is Akinyemi Tosin online?
Mr. Chairman, are you hearing me?
Yeah, is that Boniface?
Oh, Boniface is online.
Okay, please go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, good morning, and good morning, other directors of the great company, fellow distinguished shareholder. Good morning. My name is Okezie Boniface, the National Chairman, Progressive Shareholder Association of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend the board and management for working tirelessly to return this company to profitability. I know it's not been easy, but I think the loss have been reduced drastically. This 2024, as far as I'm concerned, it will become historical. But what is most important is the resilience and the hard work put in place to make sure the company come back to pay dividend, which they have been paying in the past. For this year, last year, that dividend were not forthcoming. Everybody have felt the impact of MTN not paying dividend. Mr. Chairman, I want to also commend the revenue growth, which we can see on page 26 on key financial highlight. The revenue is up in this year under consideration, 3.3 trillion as against 2.4 in 2023. Service revenue also grown up 2.334.9 as against 2.4547 in previous year. Mr. Chairman, the voice revenue also have been increased. Data revenue also went up as against the previous year. Digital revenue also have an increase. That means we're doing well in that area. Fintech also revenue was up 106.5 as against 86.4, 23.2% up. Other service revenue has also went up 108.0%, 258.9 billion in previous year, in this year as against 124.4. Mr. Chairman, a lot of these things, I think the management have worked hard to make sure they return this company. You can see on that, return on equity, ROEE, was not available, which was zero there. Mr. Chairman, my happiness is that if we are going to first quarter, or I can't just release, rekindle hope for shareholder to be optimism that come next year or thereabout, this company will be able to wipe out those previous losses that resulted on the forex volatility. And that's the statement. I want to commend the management on the key financial highlights in the first quarter. Mr. Chairman, I can see the revenue is also up there, 1.47.657 trillion as against 782 billion in previous year. I want to commend the result of Dr. Carr for what we've been able to do to turn this company around. Mr. Chairman, and I believe also we need to work on our area, areas of cord drops. Let it not be like old Nitel, what we used to experience. A lot of people may not, have to put up some futures, and they'll be debited, and they will say we didn't borrow the money. I've get a lot of reports from a lot of people who say they did not even ask or borrow from MTN to make calls, that they were doing charge as debited, and when they recharge, software recharge, their money will be cut off. They say we didn't borrow for that, So we need to work those areas. Mr. Chairman, with the digital agreement today, that we can use the facility of MTN or Airtel or the other competitors, that arrangement is working, because in the many areas, MTN presence is not felt, like why we don't have the mask to have a clear signal to make your calls. But with other people who have presence in that locality also help. And MTN, which is one of the fastest growing telecom, also in every nook and cranny of this country, I must commend them for that. People are also, their competitors, are also making use of their facilities to be able to reach their customers, to make their calls and what have you. So those performances is very, very commendable. And they are capital intensive. But we need to also watch how we raise commercial papers and bond, because at the end of the day, we need to service it. And that also will take off from shareholder take-home pay, because we need to work hard to be able to service those commercial papers, what have you. So these are things that taking its toll on the revenue of the company. Mr. Chairman, I want to commend the efforts of the board, the able way you have been tackling this issue since it came up last year. And the board is not resting on the oars to make sure MTN remain #1 communication in the country. Mr. Chairman, having said that, I also have to commend you on page 28, key operational highlight. Like, mobile subscriptions, 80.90 in this 2024 as against 79.7, which was 1.6% growth in mobile subscriptions. Data subscriptions also have gone up to 47.7 million. Home branded subscriptions, 3.2 million as against 2.0 in previous year. Momo PSB wallet, we have also subscription of 2.8 million. Mr. Chairman, that means people are still showing interest on that PSB, our banks, Momo Microfinance. I want to commend the management that MTN, in all of these things, all gear up to make more money, to grow the revenue, and so that there's a bigger cake to share at the end of the day. Mr. Chairman, on the board attendance, I want to also commend few directors. In all of that, 6 directors did not complete their 15 attendance meetings. Some recorded 14, 15. I don't want to mention their names. Mr. Chairman, I commend you that you are not a defaulter, and so many other directors who attended 15 attendance of board meeting. Because without full attendance board meeting, you cannot be able to articulate policy for management to drive the day-to-day running of the company. Mr. Chairman, I am not also too happy for you to opt out today to do virtual, because it should have been a bad wagon in Nigeria doing virtual meeting. But I know few directors are converging whatever the hall, because we have a bigger hall that will save us a lot of money in the past, even during the COVID. We did not be able to rent hall and hotel to do a meeting. We have a bigger hall there that can accommodate shareholder. All they need to do to tell them where we are presently and where we are last year. So nobody will kill you, nobody will come there to box you that you must pay them dividend. But things are showing clearly that we are almost out of the wood, out of the dark tunnel. There's going to be a light. So why do we opt out to do virtual meeting? This is not good for shareholder, Mr. Chairman, because seeing your face interact with other board members and management, that gives you that hope. Yes, this is our company. But this virtual bandwagon, there the law said, but the law does not totally remove that you cannot do physical meetings. We did last year, that physical meeting didn't end well. It ended well. Mr. Chairman, this bandwagon in Nigeria, we don't like it. We must change come next year. Let us have physical meeting, discuss as a family, and put our problem behind us and move forward. Shareholder will encourage you that, yes, in management hard work putting in place, whilst you will come to criticize and organize you, it's not easy to do business in Nigeria. We know what a lot of companies are passing through. The banks today are carrying the way to paying dividend. But most company manufacturers are not finding it easy to do business because they go to bank and borrow. So, Mr. Chairman, come this year, let us have a physical meeting for goodness sake. The virtual meeting gives you if you are abroad, and the chairman cannot miss that meeting, you connected. That's the sense of it. That's why it was put in there. So the law does not, overscribe that you should not do virtual meeting. Let us begin to kill that, Mr. Chairman. By the time we understand that, it will be helpful for us. Because for everybody, we are going this virtual doing meeting, that it's not going to augur well with our company, where we invested in. I want to commend the company secretariat. Turner have done very well, at least you're reaching out that with the registrars, that this annual report goes out. No matter the challenges, I think that is one of the gloss annual report I've seen so far, and she doesn't miss out that every year, no matter the challenge the company is going through. A lot of companies today are hiding, they send electronically to the registrar, and that end there. They don't print. But Otto have made sure that the good corporate governance is entrenched in this company. I commend that woman and the corporate affairs department. Like people like Chima, they have done very well. We see them on day to day. Like MD, last year, I don't think I saw my favorite car. Congratulations for your doctorate award in Obafemi University. A lot of numerous awards, including the author, the company secretary, and etc., etc. That's very commendable. That clearly shows that you are the leader in the industry.
Thank you.
Don't relent, Mr. Chairman. I commend all the God will keep us alive and we'll enjoy this company. The shareholder, I think this is time for investors to come in, taking advantage of low price and buy. Because by the time we have to talk water, I think the share will go to high, that the people cannot reach to buy. So this is time now to key in, taking advantage of non-dividend this year. I know the company, God willing, will have dividend come next year. God bless MTN and God bless Nigerian shareholders.
Thank you very much, Boniface, for that long comment. But you did well. Well done.
Thank you, Chairman.
Akemi Tosin. Can we connect him? And please make it as brief as possible. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning. All right. I support what Mr. Boniface Bira said. That's my point already. Just so I will not waste time, so they can move ahead.
Okay. That's right.
All right, sir.
Thank you. Well done.
Okay.
You're a good man.
All right.
We see a lady. Okay. The next person is Jibuno Godfrey Uche. It's possible that Boniface has covered all the points. Okay. It seems we are not connecting to Godfrey. I'll now call on the CEO to respond to the questions that have been raised. Thank you.
Good morning, our esteemed shareholders. Thank you for being present, and to our board members as well. Before I address the questions, I would like to take an opportunity to refresh us that we communicated a 5-point plan to the shareholders to restore our shareholder equity. And I'll go through the progress that we've made on them. We're very pleased to say that we've successfully executed on that 5-point plan in totality, with a lot of thanks to the management team and all the staff of MTN Nigeria who have been very ably guided by the board of directors. We kept our capital expenditure down. One of the commitments was to reduce our capex, so we actually reduced it marginally between 2023 and 2024 in spite of the drastic devaluation of the Naira. Our expense efficiency program delivered 40 billion Naira of savings versus an initially intended planned 17 billion Naira of savings. We successfully renegotiated our IHS contract, which was one of the major drivers of provisions made for the forex devaluation, and we now have a contract which offers us a much better extent of stability to the volatility of the market. We reduced our foreign exchange obligations on trade lines from $416 million to $21 million. That's effectively almost completely eliminating our foreign exchange exposure on trade lines. And of course, as I'm sure you have been well informed in the news, we were successful in securing approval from the regulatory authorities for a 50% tariff increase, approval of which was given in January, and we started the execution in February all the way into April. We also had an additional upside with the closure of the USSD debt with the banking industry, which boosted our results in the financial year 2024. So we're very pleased that we delivered on everything that we committed to the shareholders. To dear Barrister Mrs. Shinobola Adetutu, I will address some of the questions which you highlighted. First of all, thank you for the kind words of support and encouragement. We are committed to gender balance, but it's a process, and that includes the board. So as term limits expire, we'll be looking towards achieving this. But of course, the first priority always remains the skills and competence of the directors, of which we are confident that we can secure. There are more than enough resources in the country and across the world, female resources to address that gender balance. Thank you for the comments on attendance of board meetings. It's a large board. It's sometimes challenging to get everybody's schedule to work at the same time. So occasionally we have some absences, but by and large we have very, very, very good attendance. I think on the issues around the financials, I've addressed that through the 5-point plan, which I gave an update on. On the item around directors having shares attached to their names, your observation is well noted. Under the law, it's not mandatory for company directors to hold shares in the company. Directors are appointed primarily based on their experience and competence to add value to the organization. So that is the basis on which we appoint our directors. It's disclosed on page 131 of the annual report that none of the directors currently holds any indirect interest in the company. There is a question that you raised around the substantial interest in shares. Around 2 major shareholders with the minority shareholders in our company under the year review. We note your observation. The board composition, once again, is focused on maintaining the balance of skills and experience and diversity to support our strategic directives. And that will continue to be the focus going forward. The next question is around trade and receivables under current assets, going up from 215 billion to 368 odd billion naira. Management has implemented various recovery initiatives. With this question and with the question around, on the questions around trade and payables under current liabilities, it's primarily driven by the 69% devaluation of the currency, and that affected our foreign exchange denominated liabilities. We still have, aside from trade loans, certain foreign exchange loans. The improvement in the market forex liquidity along with the enhanced cash flow from our operations are expected to support the timely settlement of trade payables going forward. We don't see the increase under receivables and liabilities to be a major issue to the company. This is in line with the change in our business and operating environment, and we have strategies to secure any exposures that we have in that area. To Mr. Boniface Okozie, thank you once again for your kind words of resilience. We understand the desire for shareholders to have a dividend, and we're all aligned with that. MTN Group, the majority shareholder of MTN Nigeria, also hasn't received dividends, so it's a focus area for the entire organization to restore our shareholder capital and our distributable reserves so we can return to declaration of dividends in the shortest time possible. Your observation is noted around the call drops. We were severely constricted in our ability to invest in this business as a result of the macroeconomic environment and delays in securing a tariff increase. With the tariff increase which was approved in Q1, we are going back to measured but aggressive capital investments to address the quality of service issues. We have made commitments, and in Q1, as you may have seen from our results which were published last night on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, we spent effectively 202 billion naira of capex. That's Q1 2025. Now, the process of addressing the quality of service challenges takes time. We procure the equipment, we ship it down, customs clearance. If we need to acquire sites, we have to acquire sites. So we expect to see a significant improvement in quality of service at the end of Q2 and the beginning of Q3, as the tariff increases have allowed us to continue to invest in the business. So you can be assured that it's a rigorous focus of ours, but we had to ensure that we managed the challenges of the macro last year. Thank you to Mrs. Tosin Akinyemi for saving us some time. I think, as the chairman said, Mr. Boniface Okozie had covered pretty much all of the questions that anyone could ask. We continue to to address the issues in the company and again reiterates that we fully executed the 5-point plan. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Carl, for those responses. It is now time to vote. As I stated before, voting on items on the agenda, except for item 6, will be by poll. Item 6 will be by electronic voting. I now invite the registrar to explain the e-voting process.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Standing on all existing protocol. Esteemed shareholders, my name is Mary Adeleye, and I represent Coronation Registrars Limited, registrars to MTN Nigeria Communication PLC. I will proceed to explain the procedure for casting your votes using the Coronation virtual platform accessible on your laptop and mobile phones. Please be informed that we have captured voting details for 221 shareholders received by proxy and holding 17,715,545,308 units of the issued share capital of MTN Nigeria PLC. In addition to the proxies received, we will be capturing the votes of the eligible shareholders who are virtually in attendance at this meeting to arrive at the final voting results. Your votes are configured to represent your shareholding in MTN Nigeria Communication PLC. You have received an email containing your direct link and access to join the meeting. Ensure you accept the privacy policy. Once logged in, a green sign appears at the top right corner of your device to show attendance status. When voting begins, the resolution will automatically pop up on your screen to cast your votes. Once the voting session commences, the voting options for, against, and abstain will pop up on your device screen. Please click the options in accordance with your decision and choice. Please note that each shareholder can change their vote during the voting period. But once the voting period has ended, the last option you click will be recorded as your vote. The voting period shall last 60 seconds. For a pictorial explanation of the voting process, please watch the screen for a short video.
Welcome to the Coronation e-voting process. Please click on your personalized voting link sent to your email. This will direct you to the page shown below. Then, click the toggle button highlighted on the screen to accept your privacy policy. Step 2. After clicking the toggle button, the following screen will appear. Please wait on this screen for the voting process to begin. Step 3. When the voting begins, the screen shown below will appear. As indicated by the on-screen buttons, you may choose to vote for, vote against, or abstain from the voting process. You will see a message on the screen confirming that you have selected a voting option, similar to the one shown below when you choose to vote in favor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Adeleye. I hereby move that the annual financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2024, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee, as presented to the members at this annual general meeting be received and adopted. Would someone please second the motion? Godfrey?
I so do. Boniface Okezie, I support the motion. I support the motion. Boniface Okezie.
Thank you very much. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll have the resolution on the screen, and the timer is on. The countdown has begun. On your voting devices, please press 4 if in support of the resolution, press against, or abstain. Voting is in progress. We have 20 seconds to the end of the voting period. Ten seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 530 shareholders who voted in favor of this resolution, representing 17,718,768,449 units. We have 2 shareholders who voted against this resolution, with a total holding of 10,580 units, and we have 8 shareholders who abstained from participating in this resolution, and they represent 11,987 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. Thank you very much. At this point, I wish to invite Ms. Udochimo Gilem, partner, Messrs. PwC, to read the report of the independent consultants to the board on their appraisal of the year ended 31st December 2024, which can be found on page 123 of the annual report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I so read the Board Evaluation Report dated 27th of February 2025. The Chairman, MTN Nigeria Communications PLC, number 1 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. Dear Sir, report on the outcome of the Board and Corporate Governance Evaluation exercise for the period ended 31 December 2024. PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, was engaged to carry out an evaluation of the corporate governance practices of MTN Nigeria Communications PLC, the company, and the evaluation of the company's board of directors as required by the Principle 15.1 and 14.1 of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance, NCCG 2018, the SEC Corporate Governance Guidelines 2021, SCGG, and the Nigeria Communications Commission's Code of Corporate Governance 2016, NCC Code, for the period ended 31st December 2024. Our responsibility was to reach a conclusion on the corporate governance practices of the company and the board of directors' performance within the scope of our letter of engagement dated 24th December 2024. In carrying out our evaluation, relied on the representation made by members of the board and the management of the company, and on the documents provided for our review. We also facilitated a self and peer assessment of each director's performance in the year under review. The assessment covered each director's time commitment to the business of the company and continuous learning and development. Each individual director's assessment report is prepared and made available to them respectively, while a consolidated report of the performance of all directors is submitted to the company's board chairman. The company and board of directors have complied significantly with the provisions of the codes. Areas of compliance include oversight over the activities of the members of senior management, the board's approval of policies, and the oversight of the implementation of the company's strategic objectives. Details of other findings and recommendations are contained in the full report. This was signed by my colleague, Wura Olowofoyeku, for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and the FRC number is there stated. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is to elect directors. The following were appointed to the board of directors since the last annual general meeting of the company. They are Mrs. Eyitope Kola Oyeneyin, Independent Non-Executive Director, Mr. Udemezuo Muneli, Independent Non-Executive Director, and Mr. Timothy Pennington, Non-Executive Director. In accordance with the provision of CAMA, the appointment of a director by the board must be approved by members at the general meeting or annual general meeting following such director's appointment. I therefore wish to present the first director for election, Mrs. Eyitope Kola Oyeneyin. I hereby move that the appointment of Mrs. Kola Oyeneyin as an independent non-executive director be and is hereby approved. Would someone please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, I hereby rise to second that motion. My name is Erin Folami Gafao. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll have the resolution on display. The timer is on. You may now cast your vote. On your voting devices, you have the option 4, which represents option 1, which represents 4. We have against and abstain. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. Please cast your votes. Thank you. We have 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. Voting has ended, and we have 520 shareholders who voted in favor of the resolution with 17,716,880,8 874 units. And we have 13 shareholders who voted against the resolution with 48,827 units. And we have 11 shareholders who abstained from the resolution with 54,581. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I hereby declare that Mrs. Eyitope Kola Oyenei is duly elected. The second director presented for election is Mr. Udemezuo Muneli. I hereby move that the appointment of Mr. Muneli as an independent non-executive director be and is hereby approved. Would someone please second the motion?
Ibrude Moses rise to second that motion. Ibrude Moses.
Igbude. Thank you very much, Moses.
Igbude, I-G-B-R-O-U-D-E, Moses.
Okay, thank you very much. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll have the resolution up, and the timer is on. Please cast your votes accordingly. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. Twenty seconds to the end of the voting period. 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 572 shareholders with a significant count of 17,717,165,267 units in support of the resolution. We have 13 shareholders representing 24,331 units who voted against. And we have 18 shareholders who abstained from the resolution with 56,420 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that Mr. Udemezuo Muneli is duly elected. The third director presented for election is Mr. Timothy Pennington. I hereby move that the appointment of Mr. Pennington as non-executive director be and is hereby approved. Would someone please second the motion?
I second the motion. Gafa Irifolami is the name. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll have the resolution on, and the timer is up. You may now cast your vote. On your voting devices, for, you have the keypad, for, against, and abstain. Please cast accordingly. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. Twenty seconds to the end of the voting period. 10 seconds left to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 581 shareholders who voted in favor of this resolution, representing 17,717,173,915 units. And we have 20 shareholders who voted against the resolution with 65,888 units. And we have 28 shareholders who abstained from the resolution, represent with some shareholding of 52,618 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that Mr. Timothy Pennington is duly elected. Esteemed shareholders, the next item on the agenda is the re-election of retiring directors who have offered themselves for re-election. 5 directors are retiring at this meeting in accordance with the Articles of Association, and being eligible, they have offered themselves for re-election. They are Mr. Andrew Ali, Mr. Michael Ajuku, Dr. Mobola Johnson, Mr. Abubakar Mahmood, and Mr. Ferdinand Mollman. The first director being presented for re-election is Mr. Andrew Ali. I hereby move that Mr. Andrew Ali be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Would someone please second the motion?
I hereby rise and second the motion. Gafar Erinfolami is the name. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The timer is up. Please cast your vote accordingly. On your voting devices, you have the pop-up button for, against, and abstain. Please cast your votes accordingly. Thank you. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. "20 seconds to the end of the voting period. "10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 547 shareholders who voted in favor of this resolution, representing 17,717,139,426 units, while we have 30 shareholders who voted against the resolution, with a total holding of 117,543 units, and 26 shareholders who abstained from the resolution, with total holding of 26,584 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I hereby declare that Mr. Andrew Ali is duly elected. The second director for re-election is Mr. Michael Ajuku. I hereby move that Mr. Ajuku be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Would someone please second the motion?
I so do, Mr. Chairman. My name is Eke Chibuzo Emmanuel.
It's not loud enough.
I so do, Mr. Chairman. My name is Eke Chibuzo Emmanuel.
Thank you very
Eke
much.
Chibuzo Emmanuel.
Thank you very much.
I so do. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll have the resolution on display, and the timer is on. You may now cast your vote. Thank you. Voting is still in progress. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. "20 seconds to the end of the voting period. "10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 553 shareholders who voted in favor of the resolution, representing 99.9% with a total holding of 17,771. I'll take that again. 17,716,813,550 units. And we have 25 shareholders who voted against, with a total holding of 213,919 units, and 27 shareholders who abstained, with a total holding of 152,181 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I hereby declare that Mr. Michael Ajuku is duly re-elected. The third director presented for re-election is Dr. Mobola Johnson. I hereby move that Dr. Johnson be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Would someone please second the motion?
I, Akiyemi Tosimane, second the motion.
Thank you very much.
What would have happened?
We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The timer is on. Please cast your votes accordingly. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. We have 20 seconds to the end of the voting period. We have 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 564 shareholders who voted in favor of this resolution, which represents 17,716,981,591 units. And we have 16 shareholders who voted against this resolution, with a total of 22,307 units, and 10 shareholders who abstained from the resolution, with a total shareholding of 55,116 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I hereby declare that Dr. Mobola Johnson is duly re-elected. The fourth director presented for re-election is Mr. Abubakar Mahmood. I hereby move that Mr. Abubakar Mahmood be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Would someone please second the motion?
I, Brude Moses, I rise to second that motion.
Thank you very much. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution is up, and the timer is on. Thank you. You may cast your votes accordingly. On your voting devices, you have the buttons for, against, or abstain. Please cast your votes accordingly. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. Ten seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 543 shareholders who voted in favor of the resolution by 100%, and this represents 17,716,709,231 units, and we have 25 shareholders who voted against the resolution with a holding of 122,191 units, and 24 shareholders who abstained from the resolution with a holding of 42,919 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that Mr. Abubakar Mahmood is duly re-elected. The fifth director presented for re-election is Mr. Ferdinand Moolman. I hereby move that Mr. Moolman be and is hereby re-elected a director of the company. Would someone please second the motion?
I, Akiyemi Tosimane, seconded the motion.
Thank you very much. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution is on the screen and the timer is on. Please cast your votes accordingly. On your voting device, you have 3 buttons. One represents for, the other against, and the third abstain. Please cast your votes accordingly. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. Twenty seconds to the end of the voting period. We have 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have votes from 532 shareholders in favor of the resolution, and this represents 17,717,005,231 units. And we have 24 shareholders who voted against the resolution with a total holding of 91,935 units, and 25 shareholders who abstained from the resolution with a holding of 215,174 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that Mr. Ferdinand Moolman is duly elected. And that marks the end of the voting on re-election of directors. And I'll thank you, esteemed shareholders, for approving the re-election of the retiring directors. The next item on the agenda is to authorize directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors, and Messrs. Ernst & Young have indicated their willingness to continue in office. CAMA requires that their remuneration be fixed by the company in general meeting or in such a manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the year ending 31st December 2025. Would someone please second the motion? having problem with the connection? Is Boniface still there?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes?
Hi, Oluwafemi Okoduwa, second the motion.
Thank you very much. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The resolution is on the screen and the timer is on. Please cast your votes accordingly. On your voting devices, you have 3 buttons: for, against, and abstain. Please cast your votes accordingly. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. We have 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 526 shareholders who voted in favor of this resolution, representing 17,716,931,204 units. And we have 18 shareholders who voted against the resolution with 27,343 units, and 19 shareholders who abstained from the resolution with 22,911 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is to disclose the remuneration of managers of the company. By Section 238 of CAMA, every company shall at each annual general meeting disclose the remuneration of the managers of the company. The disclosure on the compensation of the managers of the company is contained on page 209 of the annual report. The directors disclose that the remuneration for managers of the business for 2024 financial year was 15.72 billion. We will now go to the special resolution. The next item is to consider, and if thought fit, to pass the following as an ordinary resolution of the company: that a general mandate be given to the company to enter into recurrent transactions with related parties for the company's day-to-day operations, including without limitations the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial terms, and the indemnification of directors, whether directly or by the company, or by obtaining appropriate insurance in accordance with the company's articles, in compliance with the Nigerian Exchange Limited rules covering transactions with related parties or interested persons and other applicable Nigerian statutory and/or regulatory requirements. The directors be and are hereby authorized to take all steps to do all acts necessary to give effect to this resolution. In line with the provisions of Rule 20.8(2)(h) of the rules governing related party transactions of Nigerian Exchange Limited, interested persons have undertaken to abstain and ensure that their proxies, representatives, or associates shall abstain from voting in this resolution. Would someone please second the motion?
A.K. Chibuzo Emmanuel, Chairman. I second that motion. A.K. Chibuzo Emmanuel.
Thank
A.K.
you.
Chibuzo Emmanuel.
Thank you very much. We will now vote on the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have the resolution on, and the timer is up. You may now cast your vote according to your decisions. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. "20 seconds to the end of the voting period. "10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 498 shareholders who voted in favor of this resolution, representing 17,716,749,160 units. We have 5 shareholders who voted against this resolution, with a holding of 15,963 units, and 9 shareholders who abstained from the resolution, with a holding of 364,608 units. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I hereby declare the motion has been carried. I'd like us to now go to the item on the agenda, which is to elect members of the Statutory Audit Committee. In accordance with Section 404(3) of CAMA, the Audit Committee shall consist of 5 members comprising 3 shareholders and 2 non-executive directors. Consequently, the following directors will be representing the board on the Statutory Audit Committee. 1, Mr. Timothy Pennington, and 2, Mrs. Ifueko Omoigui Okaro. 19 valid nominations were received by the company secretary from shareholders, and about 11 have withdrawn their candidacy. There are 8 nominees for election as members of the Audit Committee. They are 1, Mr. Nona Awo, Ms. Josephine Ewitat, Mr. Michael Odili, Henrietta Oyebola, Ajani Musa Adekola, Moses Idowu, Temitope Kamoru, and Adeshino Oladepo. We will now proceed to vote for each nominated shareholder. I invite the representatives or representative of the registrar to conduct this session. This will be by electronic voting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the Statutory Audit Committee voting will be done electronically. Shareholders can only vote for 3 candidates out of the 8 shareholders nominated for this session. We'll have the first nominee up, Mr. Nona Awo. The timer is on. Please vote accordingly. Cast your vote accordingly. Please recall that you have only 3 options. You can only vote for 3 candidates during this statutory audit election. Thank you. You have 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. Please cast your votes accordingly. Voting has ended, and we have 227 shareholders who voted in favor of Mr. Nona Awo. Thank you. We'll ask the next nominee, Mrs. Josephine Eweta. Please vote. The screen is up and the count is on. Please vote for Mrs. Josephine Ewita. If you're in support of her nomination, please cast your votes accordingly. We have 20 seconds to the end of this voting period. Please cast your vote if in support of Mrs. Josephine Ewita. Voting has ended, and we have a total count of 265 shareholders who voted in support of Mrs. Josephine Ewita. Thank you. Next, we have Mrs. Oyebode Henrietta Olufoyi-Shola.
You missed one.
Sorry, the next one is Mr. Michael Odili. Apologies. Mr. Michael Odili. The timer is up. Please cast your votes now. Cast your votes accordingly. The timer is on. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. Please cast your votes accordingly. "20 seconds to the end of the voting period. "10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 193 shareholders who voted in favor of Mr. Michael Odili. Thank you. Next for election is Mrs. Oyebode Henrietta Olufoyi-Shola. The timer is on. Please cast your votes accordingly. Voting is in progress. Please cast your vote if in support of this nominee, Mrs. Oyebola Henrietta Olufoyi-Shola. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. We have 20 seconds to the end of the voting period. We have 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. Please cast your votes if in support of the nominee. Voting has ended, and we have a total of 174 shareholders who voted in support of Mrs. Oyebola Henrietta Olufoyin Shola. Thank you. Next on the list, the next nomination is for Mr. Ajani Musa Adekola. Please cast your votes. Please vote according to your decision for Mr. Ajani Musa Adekola. You have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. You have 20 seconds to the end of the voting period. We have 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. Please cast your votes accordingly. Voting has ended, and we have 91 shareholders who voted in favor of Mr. Ajani Musa Adekola. Thank you. Next for nomination is Mr. Ajayi Kunle Moses Idowu. The timer is on. Please cast your votes according to your decision. We have 30 seconds to the end of this voting period. We have 20 seconds to the end of this voting period. Please cast your vote if in support of Mr. Ajayi Kunle Moses Idowu. We have 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 51 shareholders who are in support of Mr. Ajayi Kunle Moses Idowu. Thank you. The next nominee is Mr. Oduniyi Temitope Kamuru. The timer is on. Please cast your votes accordingly. Press 4 if in support of Mr. Oduniyi Temitope Kamuru. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. We have 20 seconds to the end of the voting period. Please cast your vote if in support of Mr. Oduniyi Temitope Kamuru. 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 52 shareholders who voted in favor of Mr. Oduniyi Temitope Kamuru. Thank you. Next on the list is Mr. Adeshino Olaleko Oladadepo. The timer is on. Please vote if in support of Mr. Adeshino Olaleko Oladepo. We have 30 seconds to the end of the voting period. Twenty seconds to the end of the voting period. We have 10 seconds to the end of the voting period. The voting has ended, and we have 29 shareholders who voted in favor of Mr. Adeshino Olaleko Oladepo. Thank you. May we have the full screen? Thank you, Chairman and Board of Directors and our esteemed shareholders. So I'll read out the total result of our votes. First, we have Mrs. Josephine Ewaita with a total vote of 265. Second, we have Mr. Nona Awo with a total vote of 227. Third, we have Mr. Michael Odili with a total vote of 193. Fourth, we have Mrs. Oyebola Henrietta Olufunshola with a total vote of 174. Next, we have Mr. Oduniyi Temitope Kamuru with a total vote of 52. Followed by Ijaye Kunle Moses Idowu with a total vote of 51. And last, Mr. Adeshino Olaleko Oladepo with a total count of 29. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You missed somebody.
Ajani? Oh, apologies, Director and everyone. Mr. Jani had a total count of 51, and that's the 5th position.
It was 91 you announced before.
91, yes, sorry. Mr. Jani Moses Adeola, 91. Ajani Moses Adeola, 91 counts.
Yeah, that's right.
So the first three are Mrs. Josephine Ewater with 265 votes. Mr. Nona Awo with 227 votes. And Mr. Michael Odili with 193 votes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Based on the votes announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that Mr. Nona Awo, Mrs. Josephine Ewitat, and Mr. Michael Odili are duly elected as representatives of shareholders in the Audit Committee of the company. I hereby further declare that the following are members of the Statutory Audit Committee of the company. Mr. Timothy Pennington, Mrs. Ifweko Omogwi Okauru, Mr. Nona Awo, Mrs. Josephine Ewitat, and Mr. Michael Odili. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the business of this annual general meeting. Thank you all for attending the meeting and for showing much interest in the affairs of the company, your company. Once again, I express my thanks to all persons who were able to attend the meeting. I now declare the meeting closed. I'd like Mr. Nona Awo to lead us in closing prayer. Any microphone?
Can we pray? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Father Lord, we want to thank you for our lives and the life of the organization that brought each and every one of us to this occasion. And Father, we ask that you continually allow your blessings and mercies to remain in our lives. And for the company that also brought us together, Father, may you also inspire us in our various roles and positions to work well for the future and the growth of this company. May we not have cause to regret this relationship, and more importantly, may we also continue to thank God for the goodness that will come our way as we work for the company. And Father, we ask as we go to our various homes and countries and locations that you also lead us safely back home. And again, you give us the opportunity to constantly thank you for the goodness and mercies that you have bestowed on the life of each and every one of us and the company. These and many more we ask through Christ our Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Shall we rise for the national anthem?
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ,
Thank you very much.